evening, everybody. Elena here. Welcome. If you are watching live, welcome and thank you for joining me. If you're watching me on replay, then I hope that you've had a good day, whether it's a good evening or good morning, whenever you're going to be tuning in. But thank you so much for letting me be part of your practice tonight. Just in case if we haven't met, my name is Elena from Off the Mat Living and Growing Body Thrive Coaching. And tonight's session will be based around breathing exercises a little bit, but in saying that everything is always an invitation. So there's the purpose. The purpose pause is for you to pause on purpose, be with yourself, be with your body. So if something at any point does not quite work for you, then please do not feel obliged to follow. Do what feels comfortable for you. I will demonstrate just before we begin a breathing technique that we're gonna be starting with after maybe a few rounds of mindful breath. And before you settle, maybe if you want to be upright or at least watch me for a little bit, or if you feel like it's okay for you to listen to the instruction, that's okay as well. So we're gonna try alternative nostril breathing, kind of continuing with the theme of balancing left and right sides and female and male energetics, but also the benefit of this breathing exercise is to really bring a lot of cleansing through the whole respiratory system. If you by some chance right now it doesn't feel comfortable for you to breathe in through the nose, or maybe one nostril might be blocked, that's completely okay. So what then you could do, you could just imagine breathing in through one side of the nose versus the other. So essentially today we're going to do a full Nadi Shodhana or full alternative nostril breathing. I'll show you the position of the hand or the mudra that we use for this. However, I'll also give you an alternative. So we will use your right hand. I'm mindful that maybe it might be reflecting opposite, so right hand. And essentially we're gonna use the thumb and the ring finger for that. So the index finger and the middle finger, we're gonna bend inwards, and then we're gonna be using the the thumb and the ring finger. So essentially closing with the thumb, you'll close your right nostril, and then left with the index. If this is too complicated, you can always use the index fingers on the hands. So we're gonna take a couple of rounds of slow breaths, and then when we are about to start, I'll guide you and essentially I might show you just with the fingers like this, just so it's easier. So I will guide you to breathe in through your left. So we're gonna close off the right, breathe in through the left. We're gonna close off the left, breathe out through the right, breathe in through the right, close, breathe out through the left, breathe in through the left, close, breathe out through the right. So essentially it's going to be we're closing, breathing out, breathing in, swap. So we are going to try. So if this is something that you have done in the past, please you can continue with your own pace. And also if you've never tried it, the pace is always just to show you, so you can always switch to your own. If you get confused, don't worry. Imagine breathing in and out through separate sides, and the whole idea is just to balance out our sides. So firstly, let's then now get into a comfortable position. So you can be seated for that. If you prefer to be reclined, that's okay. But maybe take a few moments to wiggle your shoulders a few times. Notice if there is any tension anywhere in the body. Rolling through the shoulders might be a good idea, maybe even interlacing the hands, stretching the arms, whether you're lying down or seated. If you are sitting down, perhaps use a chair or a cushion. I'm using a bolster to sit on so you can maintain the upright position. So you want to have support for your spine, whether it's lying down or sitting up. So just take a few moments, maybe even move the head and the neck a few times. Opening up through the chest, through the throat. And actually, let's start as a suggestion. Take a couple of deep breaths through the nose, if that feels comfortable, and then exhale with a sigh out, kind of just. And even feel free to bring your shoulders into this And sigh out. And maybe do it one more time. Just shake off the weight of the day. And maybe start to bring your attention now more inward. So I always suggest that if you doesn't feel comfortable to close your eyes at some point, you can always keep maybe the gaze either downwards or towards the tip of your nose. Just starting to notice your breath. No changes to the breath. Notice what it feels like without applying any particular instruction. So this is our natural breath. So if you are familiar with yoga practices or breathing practices, you might know the term pranayama. If that's new for you, I'll just explain. So pranayama is the part of the tree of yoga, as we call it, or the limbs of yoga. And essentially, pranayama means controlled breath. So it's about us applying different techniques to breathing. And the natural breath is when we just let go of any particular instruction. So maybe just take a moment, notice how it feels tonight to breathe in and out. If there are any restrictions anywhere in the body, anywhere in particular with your respiratory system, so whether it's the nostrils, the throat, the chest. And one of the purposes of our meditation practices is to become an observer. So rather than noticing and applying particular emotion towards it, so no good or bad things, we just observing what your breath feels like right now. And you are more than welcome to stay with that breathing practice or return to it at any point. Otherwise, I invite you to try that alternative nostril breathing with me. So if you'd like to maybe keep it simple, if you know how to practice Nadi Shodhana with the mudra, so you can have your position of the thumb and the index finger, I will be demonstrating just for simplicity with the index fingers. You just have your hands at the ready. If you are lying down, just make sure that again you have support and you feel that your spine is quite tall. So when we practice, we can maybe try to bring your awareness towards the space between the eyebrows, just as a suggestion. And I'll explain why in a moment. But we're going to begin with bringing the fingers closer towards your nostrils. And when you're ready, to take another deep breath in and out for both nostrils. So we're going to start breathing in through the left nostril. And just in case, when we're going to be finishing the cycles, it's going to be always the exhalation through the left. So when you're ready, let's close off your right nostril. I'll take a few rounds quite slowly with you. So we breathe in through the left, close the left, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right nostril, close, breathe out through the left. Breathing in through the left, close, breathing out through the right. Breathe in right, close, breathe out left. Breathing in through the left, close, breathe out through the right. Breathing in through the right, close, breathe out through the left. Breathing in through the left, close, breathe out through the right. Breathing in through the right, close, breathe out through the left. If it feels comfortable, continue with that pace. So we're starting with breathing in left, close, breathe out right, breathing in right, close, breathe out left, breathe in left, close, breathe out right, breathing in right, close, breathe out left. Continue with your pace. And if at any point closing the nostrils becomes too complicated, just imagine breathing in and out through one nostril and then switching to the other. And if at any point you might get confused, just return to that pace. So close right, breathe in through left, close left, breathe out through right. Breathe in through right, close, breathe out through left. Excuse me. Keeping it at your comfortable pace. And maybe if you're still continuing, maybe let's do one more round. Not keeping it too long today. So breathing in through your left on your last round. Close the left, breathe out through the right. Breathing in through the right, close, breathe out through the left. Then return to your natural breath. Both nostrils. Maybe notice if there is any changes, any sensations. It's quite common for now one nostril to be maybe slightly blocked if it was blocked, depending on the time of the day. Maybe notice any sensations in the sides of the body as we took the breath through those two energetic channels. So the belief is that the channel running through our left nostril, Ida, is more feminine energy or moon, cooling energy. And then the right nostril is our channel, Pen Pingala, so more of a masculine and warmer, so fiery energetics. And then as you continue to breathe, just maybe take a gentle scan through the body, noticing how the sides of the body feel. The front, the back, the left, the right. the top, the bottom. And then see if you could bring your attention towards the spine. Maybe feel the length of the spine. Notice how the top of the spine feels, starting from the crown of the head, going through the back of the head and the neck, the mid back, and the low back, all the way down toward the coccyx or your sitting bone area. Notice if there is any tension anywhere, or perhaps you may notice that as you take in the breath, there is some sort of resistance. Again, without judgment, without labeling things right or wrong, just noticing it. Just as we were previously breathing through left and right sides of the body, I just invite you to maybe explore, as we will be imagining to move the breath up and down. So as you're taking the breath through perhaps both nostrils or gently open lips, I just invite you to guide your awareness towards the base of the spine, so perhaps where the sitting bones are, or the coccyx. And then imagine that you start to breathe, so move the breath along the spine. So perhaps starting at that lower back area. As you take an inhale breath, next inhalation, imagine that the breath is traveling through the spine with each vertebra all the way towards the crown of the head. And as we exhale, it goes down. So inhale up and exhale down. So inhalation lifts the energy through towards the center in the middle of the head, and then as you exhale, goes down. So there's no right or wrong. So the up and down doesn't mean you have more or less energy. Just imagine moving the breath and energizing the spine, or feel through the spine as you go. And maybe you can whether visualize or feel it, that as the breath moves, maybe it's like a color moving from the base of the spine, highlighting all the vertebrae, all the bones in the spine, and then going down. And if visual is not necessarily something that's right now speaks to you, maybe it's a sensation. Maybe you can imagine moving a warmth up and down the spine, or perhaps it's a coolness. Just experiencing that maybe sensation or visual of moving the breath and moving the spine energy up and down with the breath. And at any time, notice if there is any resistance, and notice if there is perhaps just a desire right now to return to noticing your breath. And just witnessing if there is anything that comes up, any sensation, any thought, any emotion. Imagine that you could just take a snapshot of that, so without applying a story towards whatever comes up, just noticing and returning to that breath flow up from the base of the spine towards the crown of the head and down from the crown of the head towards the base of the spine. So if it feels comfortable, if you're still going with that up and down movement, maybe do 3 more rounds, energizing the spine as you lift the energy up. And then gently relaxing all the muscles around the spine, supporting the spine as you go down. And when you have finished your third round, again, let go of any visuals gently, any sensation, images. Bring your attention just to flow of the breath. Just notice the breath once again. Just observing the difference between the specific practice and return to the natural flow of the breath. And for the next couple of minutes, I just invite you to stay with that free flow of the breath, just observing the breath, not applying any particular pranayama technique. And I just invite you to bring attention back to breath anytime. Maybe you can feel a thought popping up, or if you maybe start to sense an urge to move. Whatever it is, I just invite you to maybe just notice and take at least one more breath before responding to any of those urges to move or think. Maybe notice how taking that breath, creating spaciousness, maybe helps you to dissolve whatever urge comes up or a thought. Gonna gonna give you another couple of minutes to practice yourself. So I won't be talking, and then I will gently bring you back. Gently returning your attention to your breath, just in case if the mind started to wander. And maybe as you take your next inhalation, see if you can start to deepen your inhales even more. Letting the exhalations be long and slow. I invite you to start to bring more awareness back into the body. Maybe as you take an inhale breath, starting to feel it more expanding into the chest, into the lungs, letting the abdomen be soft. And then maybe as you exhale, bring with that exhalation awareness back towards the parts of the body supported by either the chair, the mat, the bed. Feeling the weight of the body, so returning into that physical body, allowing your mindful body, emotional body, energetic body softly land once again and connect with the physical body. And then perhaps with the next each breath, imagine breathing in even further, maybe into the hands and the fingers. As you breathe out, maybe taking gentle movement through the fingers and the hands, and then starting to just feel more connected to the body. If you are staying in bed afterwards, or you want to continue and maybe spend a little bit more time supported, reclined, or seated, I just want to invite you to maybe seal your practice, whether it's right now or later. Seal it with a bit of a gesture towards yourself. Maybe it's hands on heart, maybe hands in a prayer position, maybe it's a gentle hug. Any gesture to acknowledge yourself for being here, practicing, listening, breathing, and pausing on purpose And I would like to acknowledge all of you for being here, whether alive or watching on replay, for being in this space. I appreciate all of you, and I wish you a fantastic rest of the day. Namaste, and thank you so much for this practice with me.